All right, let's jump into the game. The first thing you need to know is that this one didn't feel like a blowout early on. The Chiefs came out a little sloppy, and Mahomes tossed a pair of interceptions that had a lot of people in the stadium holding their breath. But that's what made the comeback so satisfying. Instead of folding, Kansas City tightened up, reset a few things at halftime, and methodically took control in the second half to finish it 28-7. Those 3 second-half touchdown passes from Mahomes turned what looked like a tense night into a confident win for the home team. You could feel the shift in the air. Early on, Washington's backup, Marcus Mariota, was moving the chains well enough and keeping drives alive. But the Chiefs' defense bent without breaking, and the offense found a rhythm when it mattered most. The narrative of the game became simple. Mistakes early, adjustments at the break, and execution down the stretch. When the Chiefs put together their longer, scoring drives in the third quarter, the scoreboard started telling the real story. I want you to picture Arrowhead in that third quarter. Crowd noise hitting a new gear, Mahomes settling in, and Kelsey and Rice making the kinds of plays that flip momentum. Let's talk about the emotional arc for a second, because that's why this game makes for a perfect opener. You had fear for a moment. Is this going to slide away? And then relief that turned into confidence. That swing keeps casual fans watching and gives diehards talking points for days. So here's a quick question to get you involved right now. Did Mahomes shake off the bad start entirely? Or was Washington's defense the bigger factor in the second half? Drop your vote in the comments. Mahomes or defense? Also, if you're not yet part of the channel family, hit subscribe and help push us towards 6,000 subscribers so we can keep making breakdowns like this every week. On the surface, the box score says 28-7, but the story underneath that number matters more. Mahomes finished with just under 300 yards passing and 3 TDs after those early mistakes. And the offense spread the ball to its playmakers to regain control. That's the kind of bounce-back performance that tells you a team still has resilience even when things don't start perfectly. I'll dig into the exact drives and throws in a minute. But for now, I want you to think about the tone change at halftime. What did the offense stop doing? And what did the defense start doing better? Put one specific play or moment in the comments you think turned the game. Once the second half began, it felt like Mahomes flipped a mental switch. Those early interceptions were already history. You could see it in his body language. Calmer feet, quicker reads, sharper throws. What stood out the most wasn't one highlight pass, but how he adjusted his entire approach. In the first half, Washington's defense baited him into risky throws with disguised coverages, sitting back and jumping crossing routes. After halftime, Mahomes started attacking the edges instead of forcing tight windows over the middle. He trusted his playmakers again, and the difference was immediate. The first of his 3 second-half touchdown drives set the tone. The Chiefs came out in a hurry-up rhythm, using short passes to Kelsey and Rice to pull the defense forward. Then, bang, Mahomes hit Marquise Brown deep down the right sideline for a score. It wasn't just a big play. It was a statement that Kansas City wasn't going to be tentative anymore. The offense suddenly looked like itself. Unpredictable, fast, and confident. That drive opened the floodgates. On the next series, you could sense Mahomes and offensive coordinator Matt Nagy getting into sync. Washington's linebackers were on their heels, trying to cover sideline to sideline. That's when Mahomes leaned into his chemistry with Travis Kelsey. A few perfectly timed option routes later, the Chiefs were in the red zone, and Kelsey did what Kelsey always does: found soft spots and converted. The touchdown to cap it off was pure Mahomes improvisation. Sliding right, eyes downfield, and delivering across his body to Rice for 6. You couldn't draw it up better. Now, what's interesting about Mahomes' night is that it wasn't just about arm talent, it was about patience. Remember, Washington wasn't rolling over. Their defensive front still got pressure with 4, but Mahomes' pocket movement was next level. He started drifting subtly left or right, keeping his eyes downfield, buying an extra half-second. And that half-second made the difference. The timing came back. The spacing improved. And suddenly, every route concept looked smoother. From that point on, Mahomes wasn't forcing throws. He was dictating coverage. He took what the defense gave him, and when they overcommitted, he punished them. Late in the third quarter, he capped another drive with a touchdown to Isaiah Pacheco on a swing pass that looked simple, but showed exactly how this offense works when it's balanced. Pacheco had been bottled up most of the first half, but with Washington stretched out wide, those underneath lanes opened perfectly. I think what Chiefs fans should take away from this game is reassurance. Even when things start messy, even when Mahomes throws picks or the timing looks off, this offense has a switch it can hit. The halftime adjustments were textbook. Change tempo, simplify reads, trust your rhythm, then let your stars take over. It's the kind of in-game growth that separates a championship team from an average one. Let me throw this question to you, because I want to see where fans land on it. What was your favorite offensive play of the night? Was it the deep shot to Marquise Brown, the red zone scramble throw to Rice, or that perfectly timed screen to Pacheco? Drop your answer in the comments, and let's see which moment the kingdom picks as the turning point. And hey, if you enjoy seeing how Mahomes dissects a defense mid-game, hit the like button right now. It helps the channel reach more Chiefs fans and gets us closer to that 6,000 subscriber milestone. Because next up, we're flipping to the other side of the ball, the defense. And trust me, those guys quietly owned this game in ways the scoreboard doesn't even show. While Mahomes and the offense found their rhythm, the Chiefs' defense was quietly putting together one of its most complete performances of the season. Holding any NFL team to just 7 points is no small task, no matter who's under center. And even though Washington was rolling with a backup quarterback, the way Kansas City controlled the tempo, closed space, and made life miserable for him deserves real credit. This was classic Steve Spagnuolo football. Disguise the looks, create confusion, and force mistakes. The pass rush was relentless from the jump. Chris Jones set the tone early, commanding double teams that opened lanes for George, Karlaftis, and Mike Dana to collapse the pocket. You could see it start to wear down Washington's offensive line midway through the second quarter. By the time the third rolled around, the Commanders' quarterback was hurrying throws, and that's exactly when the Chiefs' defense starts smelling blood. They didn't just pressure him, they dictated his every move. But what really stood out was how balanced the unit played. Linebackers were flying to the football. Nick Bolton was everywhere, cleaning up run lanes and forcing second and long situations that made Washington predictable. That's when the secondary took over. L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie were surgical, locking down the outside, contesting nearly every throw, and showing the kind of communication you expect from a veteran defense. McDuffie in particular deserves a shout-out. His ability to read route stems and close space kept Washington's receivers from getting any rhythm at all. And remember that third-quarter drive when Washington tried to claw its way back? The Chiefs completely smothered it. After a short completion on first down, they dialed up a disguised blitz from Justin Reed, and the quarterback never saw it coming. Sack, drive over, momentum gone. The defense jogged off the field while the Arrowhead crowd roared. That was the moment you could feel the Commanders mentally check out. The score might have said 21-7 at that point, but the game was already over. One thing that doesn't get talked about enough is how complementary this Chiefs defense has become to the offense. They feed off each other now. When the offense stalls, the defense holds. When the offense starts cooking, the defense pins its ears back and goes hunting. That kind of chemistry is rare, and it's why this team keeps winning even when games start ugly. Let's talk about one of the hidden heroes, too. Defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton. He doesn't always fill the stat sheet, but his interior pressure on third downs forced, hurried, throws that turned into incomplete passes and field position swings. Those small plays matter, and the Chiefs have built a roster full of guys who do the dirty work without much spotlight. By the end of the night, Washington's offense looked completely out of sync. The Chiefs allowed under 200 passing yards, and their third down defense once again ranked among the league's best. For Spagnuolo, that's the dream. Force your opponent to play left-handed and never let them dictate pace. So I want to throw this question out to you. Who was your defensive player of the game? Was it Chris Jones for setting the tone? Bolton for his tackling? Or maybe McDuffie for those textbook coverage snaps? Drop your pick in the comments below. And while you're down there, make sure you tap that like button if you're proud of how this defense is performing week after week. It really helps grow our Chiefs community and keeps these breakdowns coming. Up next, we'll look at what this win really means going forward, how it shapes the standings, builds momentum, and what the next few weeks could look like for the defending champs. When the final whistle blew and the scoreboard read 28-7, it wasn't just another win, it was a statement. The Chiefs didn't just beat Washington, they re-established their rhythm, reminded the league who they are, and built the kind of confidence you need heading into the next stretch of the season. This game might not have been perfect early, but the way Kansas City responded after halftime showed exactly why they're still one of the most dangerous teams in football. If you've been following this team for a while, you know that mid-season games like this one often tell you more than the big primetime matchups. They reveal how the Chiefs handle adversity, how they respond when momentum swings against them, and whether the leadership still drives the locker room the way it used to. After what we saw against Washington, there's no question. This team still has the hunger. The communication on both sides of the ball looked tight, and the energy from players like Pacheco, Kelsey, and Jones radiated through the entire roster. This win also came at an important time in the schedule. The AFC race is tightening, and every game matters for seeding. Beating a team you're supposed to beat isn't just about the W. It's about doing it the right way. The Chiefs didn't play down to their competition. They imposed their will. That's what championship-caliber teams do. Now, looking ahead, the road only gets tougher. The next few weeks feature matchups that could define where Kansas City lands in the playoff picture. Every possession, every drive, every adjustment matters. But if the Chiefs carry this balance, Mahomes' composure, the defense's discipline, and that never-say-die mindset, there's no reason they can't keep stacking wins and reclaim that top seed in the AFC. There's also something deeper about this particular win. It reminded fans, and probably the team itself, that even when the execution falters early, the culture never does. Andy Reid's message about staying patient, trusting your reads, and finishing strong was on full display. You could see it in the way the players celebrated afterward. Not over the top, but proud, united, focused on what's next. That's the identity that's kept the Chiefs relevant year after year. I want to hear from you on this one. After watching this game, how confident are you that Kansas City can make another deep playoff run? Drop your confidence level in the comments from 1 to 10 and tell me which team you think poses the biggest challenge down the road. Is it Baltimore? Buffalo? Maybe Miami? Let's start that conversation. Before we wrap up, if you've been enjoying these weekly breakdowns, do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button and help us reach our goal of 6,000 subscribers. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it really helps keep Total Chiefs news growing so we can bring you even more in-depth coverage every week. Also, hit the like button if you're proud of how this team handled business at Arrowhead. Because wins like this remind the entire league that Kansas City still runs through Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and a defense that refuses to back down. When you zoom out, the story of this game isn't just the 28-7 score. It's resilience, it's coaching, it's leadership. It's the reminder that championship teams don't panic. They adjust, refocus, and finish. And that's exactly what the Chiefs did.